joining me for yet another edition of Off the Wall with Cody. Is Cody Wall here on Coffee with Graham. Cody, 2 games only on the weekend this past weekend here on the network, both being played on Friday. The Pilot-Mound Hockey Academy U15 Male Prep Buffaloes taking on the Okanagan Hockey Academy Edmonton U15 Prep team in the CSSHL game that we saw on Friday night. And then in Morden, we saw the Pembina Valley Hawks play the Winnipeg Avros. But how you doing on this Tuesday morning, man? Happy to have you on the show once again.
Good. It's good to see you there, Graham. Yeah, we managed to miss each other on Friday with, me calling the game in Pilot-Mound and you and Seth calling the game in Morden there. But both some interesting games to talk about here, and looking forward to breaking down this last weekend.
Let's start off with the game that you covered in Pilot-Mound, Cody. The U15 Male Prep Buffaloes falling big time 7-1 to the Okanagan Hockey Academy Edmonton U15 Prep team. OHA Edmonton out shooting the Buffaloes 40-12 in that game. Pilot-Mound getting outshot heavily in that game on Friday. Talk about how OHA was able to come out and dominate as they did on Friday night against the Buffaloes at Blackjack Stewart Arena.
Yeah, they really came out firing on all cylinders. They really hit their stride in that second period, but really you could feel them starting to gain a lot of momentum, even in that first period where they were able to get their first goal of the game and really didn't let up. If you look at watching the game and checking the stat sheet there, you see that OHA really didn't let up throughout the game, just consistently applying pressure and, able to capitalize once on the 2 power plays that they were given. And, that always helps as well when you're able to get the special teams involved.
Yeah, for sure. Getting special teams involved and being able to capitalize like OHA Edmonton did, like you said, a huge part of, their success at points in that game. Talking about what Pilot-Mound Hockey Academy U15 fell short on in that game, why they were able to get dominated like they did in the offensive zone, and also not putting up as many shots as they would have liked, only putting up 12 compared to the 40 that OHA Edmonton put up.
For sure. And I don't want to be too critical of the Pilot-Mound team, but really it looked like at times the effort level, sorry, I don't want to say the effort level wasn't there, but there was a lot of miscommunication amongst the Buffalo. Often you'd find a loose puck. You'd have 2 Buffalo defenders within stick length or 2 of the puck, and OHA would still win the puck battle even though they had to come from a further way to pick up that puck. Just looked like there was a lot of miscommunication between the Buffalo, and just I think that was really their downfall in that game, was just lack of communication out there, and really, yeah, just a lot of miscommunication between the team.
Yeah, and when there is miscommunication, that can lead to a lot of issues out there, and we saw just that this past Friday night in Pilot-Mound, Manitoba at Blackjack Stewart Arena. But this was the Buffalo's first game back in 2022. It was OHA Edmonton's as well. You don't want to put it up as an excuse, but would you say that I guess we'll go there with this excuse, maybe that the Buffaloes maybe came out rusty in this Friday night game this past Friday against OHA, and that could have led to some of the miscommunication?
Yeah, definitely. And that's something I had mentioned throughout the broadcast to try and remind everybody at home that it was their first game back after an extended Christmas break. And, could be just a little bit of rust and needing to get back those game legs back under them to get that full effort level going once they get back into this after Christmas stride.
Talk about the Buffaloes what they were doing well when they were able to generate their chances, even though there was so few of them compared to OHA only having 12 shots on net for the Buffaloes. Talk about how they were able to generate their offense, getting shots on net when they were able to, as well as what led to the goal that the Buffaloes scored.
Yeah, when they were able to get out of their own zone, it was from some good smooth breakouts coming from two defensemen, more specifically Gage Sutherland and Carson Carrolls. Those two guys seemed to, when they were able to generate some momentum getting out of their own end, those two guys were really quarterbacking and then able to lead the team into the offensive zone. And then once they got there, number 9 of Liam Chartrand. I want to make sure I didn't say his brother Riel, but Liam Chartrand really, he was moving his feet out there at times and was generating some offensive opportunities with throwing the body every once in a while. I know there was a couple times him and Hunter Yee from the OHA Edmonton had kind of got together. They had looked like they were starting a bit of a rivalry throughout that game, really coming with Hunter Yee lighting Chartrand up early and then Chartrand kind of returning the favor a little bit later on in the game. But the Buffalo, when they were able to generate momentum, it was kind of from that cycling and trying to get shots from the point and from the outside, because really OHA was doing a great job of shutting down that slot area.
Yeah, and I found out that Liam is in fact not related to Riel on Thursday night's edition of Coffee with Graham last week, and I was like, well, we've been saying Riel and Liam are related all along, and then you find out they're not, and then you go, man, I feel like an idiot. But great to know that there was a little rivalry going on between him and Yee from the OHA Edmonton team. But a lot of goals from OHA Edmonton in that game, Cody, this past Friday. Talk about how they were able to move this puck around, dive more into depth, and to how they were able to generate their chances offensively and break down this Buffaloes team defensively.
Yeah, they really used their speed, especially a guy like number 21, Landon McFadden. Often you saw him breaking out of their zone with the puck and really just was able to generate a lot of speed with his feet and, loop around the net and kind of draw some of the Pilot-Mound defenders out of position to try and create some room for some of his teammates. Another player who really was generating a lot was their captain, number 4, Matt Parnich. He really was able to generate a lot of offense, was able to get a goal and register 2 assists, keeping his point streak going throughout the regular season. And the OHA really used the cycle game a lot, trying to find and pull players out of position, and really did a good job of that throughout the game.
We'll talk about one more thing in this game, and then we'll move on to the next game that was covered on Friday night, this past Friday on ASTV. But the play of Keane Reed in net for this Buffaloes team, facing 40 shots against, of course, letting 7 in, obviously letting as many goals in as he did. You never want that to happen if you're a goaltender. But talk about, how he truly looked in that game this past Friday night, in your opinion.
Yeah, I felt like a couple of those goals were really fluky, especially that one that kind of had bounced off of, I can't remember if it was Gage Sutherland's skate in the front of the net and had gotten past Keane Reed. I believe there was another goal that kind of was a little bit fluky. Maybe you wouldn't have expected that to normally come at you, and maybe wasn't really expecting a weird kind of shot. Other than that, when it was kind of those first opportunities, Keane was always able to really suck those rebounds up and stop it. It was really when OHA started applying the pressure and generating some rebounds and kind of pulling that puck when it is scrambling in front of the net in the slot area. And that's kind of when he was able to, he was able to track the puck quite well when it was kind of those first opportunities as the game progressed.
While the Buffaloes obviously looking to have a better result next time that they're out for this U15 meal prep program. They won't be back in action for a while here on the network, Cody, but lots to work on for them in the meantime to improve on their start to their 2022 portion of their schedule, of course, as we've mentioned, falling 7-1 to the Okanagan Hockey Academy Edmonton U15 prep team this past Friday night. And speaking of Friday night, this past Friday night, the Winnipeg Avros were in Morden, Manitoba at the Access Event Center taking on the Pembina Valley Hawks at 8 p.m. this past Friday. It was a very entertaining game. Cody, me, and Seth were on the call, as you do know. Shots were 31-24 in favor of the Avros. Ended up being a 4-2 win for the Winnipeg Avros. Just talking about, the Winnipeg Avros from what you saw in that game this past Friday, from, when you got to watch a bit of the game like you did, as to why they had so much success against this Pembina Valley Hawks team to be getting that 4-2 win.
Yeah, they really this game was a lot closer than the other game we had on the network, a little bit closer, like you said. And Winnipeg Avros really were able to generate a lot of opportunity with moving their feet. They really leaned on some of their bigger players like Nora Collins, number 18, and as well as Hakiluk was another player I know often heard her name mentioned, but both goaltenders really, I think, had a great night, able to stop a majority of shots, with Tria stopping all but 4 and Yania only stopping all but 2. Really a good overall game from what I had seen.
Yeah, and the 4-2 goal was an empty netter from Nora Collins, number 18, for the Winnipeg Avros. And speaking of, the two number 18s faced off against each other and went at it. Abby Bordadui, number 18 for the Pembina Valley Hawks, scored the opening goal in that game in the first period. And then Nora Collins with a hat trick. One of her goals, of course, being that empty netter. But both of these players coming into that game leading the league in scoring. Of course, Abby Bordadui leading the league in goals coming into that matchup. Nora Collins sitting 3 goals behind her with 14 coming into that matchup. Of course, Collins with 17 after that night. Bordadui with 18 after that game was played. Just the excitement, the entertainment. It was entertaining for me and Seth, to say the least, to watch these two studs go at it. But talk about, what it was like from your perspective, seeing both Abby Bordadui and Nora Collins battling it out this past Friday.
Yeah, really, both players were stars in that game. They had glimpses of why they're the two top players in the league. Abby Bordadui always moving her feet, able to generate opportunity off the rush, and Nora Collins, kind of a carbon copy. They both kind of really move their feet, able to, good with their hands, able to, throw defenders off as they're coming into the offensive zone, and able to create time and space. And then when they are able to get time and space, they're able to capitalize when they do get their chances.
You talked about, the Avros moving their feet like they did, and that generated some power play opportunities for them as they drew some penalties as a result of them moving their feet, coming in with speed and threatening attack in the Pembina Valley Hawks defense. Of course, like I mentioned, just a moment ago. The Hawks took 5 penalties in this game, but they killed off all 5 of them. Talk about, a big plus for the Hawks in this game, their penalty kill against the Avros this past Friday.
Yeah, definitely. In a game, it can go either way. When your penalty kill is going good, it's always good, that you're able to put up a goose egg against the team. But in the same sense, even when you're not, or when you are able to kill off that penalty, often you find that you're losing a little bit of momentum to the other team. And so that's something I thought I saw a little bit when penalty trouble started to get a little bit worse. It looked like even though the Hawks were solid on their penalty kill, it did look like maybe the Avros got a little bit of life out of their penalty or their power play.
Yeah, and the Avros on their side of things took only 2 penalties in this game. The penalty kill looked very strong from them, despite them giving up a goal on that first power play. Kind of a freak play in the sense that the puck that it kind of squirted out into a weird area. The Hawks, Caitlin Anderson, able to get that puck in on Yanina Karitonovich from a sharp angle, but the Avros, their penalty kill, like I said, looked spectacular. On the second one, they didn't even let the Hawks get out of their zone, really, Cody. And when the Hawks did get into the Avros zone, the Avros would just dump it down right away. So the Hawks not able to really generate much momentum on that second power play. But just talking about how this Avros penalty kill looks so flawless, minus the fact that they gave up 1 goal off of a weird bounce and on a sharp angle shot to Caitlin Anderson.
Yeah, you got to think in those 4 minutes of penalty kill time that they had, other than, all of 10 seconds, they played flawless penalty kill hockey. Like you said, watching that opportunity from Caitlin Anderson, it was a bit of a fluke play, kind of snuck by. She took a kind of shot, and it looked like it fooled Yania and kind of just trickled by. And other than that, yeah, their penalty kill was able to really suffocate the power play and not let them get too terribly much opportunities other than that one off the rush from Caitlin Anderson.
Yeah, and it was crazy on that second penalty, Cody, that the Avros took. Just how aggressive they were on the forecheck in terms of not letting the Hawks really get out of their zone. But talking about the Hawks, when they were getting their chances, in your opinion, how they were able to generate their offense coming in on this Avros team.
Yeah, to me it looked like their passing was good. They were able to move the puck around quite good. Both teams looked like it was a fairly even matchup from what I had seen on the broadcast. Really, 2 teams that were evenly matched, and 2 teams that really didn't want to give an inch. And I think that's why we had such a close game. Other than the empty net goal, it was a 1-goal game, and both teams putting in a full effort. But from the Hawks, I found that a lot of their opportunities came when they were able to get a little time and space and pass the puck around and find that open area to generate some shots.
Yeah, for sure. And the Avros in that game did a really good job as the game went along of keeping chances to the outside. Me and Seth were talking about that quite a bit as this game was going on. Really good in the neutral zone as well at clogging things up. Talk about the Avros, how they executed their game plan really well at times to be able to do those things to even though they gave up shots against Pembina Valley, giving up shots from the outside more rather than giving up shots from the higher danger scoring places, areas on the ice.
Yeah, for sure. and looked like they really had some active sticks out there, really trying to cover as much area of the ice as they could. Trying to force the Hawks to the outside, because really once you get into that heart of the slot, that's really the high danger area, and you always want to try and keep teams out of that area. And they really looked like they were able to, for the most part, keep the Hawks out of the high danger slot area for the most part, and able to keep some of the high danger chances to the outside.
Well, the Winnipeg Avros improved to 14 wins on the season after that game. They improved on their record in the whole weekend after they won against Central Plains on Saturday, in Saturday's matchup, for them improving to 15 wins. Of course, the Hawks falling to 8-10 after that game, but then after their weekend was done, they finished the weekend with a 9-10 record, improving to that on the season. And of course, like we mentioned, talking about the Buffaloes early on, falling 7-1 this past Friday to the OHA Edmonton U15 prep team in their arena for the Buffaloes at Blackjack Stewart Arena. Cody Wall joining this week's edition of Off the Wall with Cody here on Coffee with Graham. Always a pleasure, Cody. Until next week on Tuesday morning, man, you take care. We'll see you then.
Thanks for having me, Graham. It was nice talking to you again, and we'll see you next week.